No, thank you.
Oh, my friends, welcome to the 10-minute book talk. I am beside myself with joy. I have been waiting for this interview. Oh, wait, I should tell you, I'm Marie Bostwick, and this is the 10-minute book talk, where we talk all things bookish with you for 10 short and sweet minutes. Today, I'm Marie Bostwick, and I have my hostess with the mostest, Katherine Reay is here. And you know, and Rachel Linden can't be here because she's in Europe, and we don't even feel bad about that because we're so glad to be here with the amazing, the wonderful Adriana Trigiani, who's written one of my favorite, probably my favorite book of this year so far, The Good Left Undone. I am stalking people in bookstores saying, you're not leaving without this book. I'm selling more copies of your book.
Well, that explains that.
It's fabulous. So tell us about your book.
Well, you know, I lost my mom a couple years ago, and this book has been in my subconscious for over, I don't know, I can never do the math, but definitely the 90s, so over 20 years. And I wanted to write the story of my contemporary Italian family. And so that's how it started, because I like the rhythms in there, the way they talk and how they view the world, which is different from me. And I also love the sense of craftsmanship that's runs rampant through both sides of my family. So it started with that. And then a series of things happened, some accidental and some weren't. But we went to the Vatican, and we had to trade out our Vatican guide, and the man that stepped in worked in the Vatican Museum in the jewelry division. That was one thing. And then I was missing my grandmothers, and I wanted to get their personalities on the page. So that's how I wrote The 4 Generations of Women. So basically, it's the story that takes place starting in 1920 to now, the present. It's the story of one family. They're gem cutters for the Vatican. That's their trade. And the matriarch of the family, who worked as the bookkeeper, it's intergenerational family business. She retired, and she thinks her time is limited. She's 81. Her husband is still working. He runs the shop. And she looks around her family and goes, I've done a terrible job. They don't know their story. And so she tells the story of her mother. And that's the story of the book.
And a powerful, powerful story it is. So Katherine, I know you.
Well, I have to tell you, Adriana, you hit this sweet spot that readers adore, but boy, the writers want to know your secret sauce. You have this incredible literary richness with these very relatable, accessible, commercial feeling, like they are so approachable today. How do you create that balance? Is it just?
Well, that first of all, what a huge compliment. You both pay me. I love you both dearly. I'm going to tell you, it's what I believe about life and people and family and the world. Yeah. I've been to some fancy places, but I never saw the elegance that I saw in my grandmothers and my mother in the fanciest places in the world. And there was always a thing, like there's a notion now in the contemporary society that poverty is a bad thing. But being poor was the best thing that ever happened to the people in my family. And we've discovered in our research that as families become prosperous, they lose the thread of the family story. And it's only in craftsmanship that you can keep it alive.
Yeah.
So it's what I believe about people. I don't like these labels. I don't like them on people, and I don't like them in my industry.
Yeah.
Our collective industry, literary fiction, historical fiction, women's fiction. Why don't you just call books women's fiction? Because we buy 70% of them.
So true.
We'll take it, but instead it's a diminutive, and that's what bothers me. Okay, because I read the big blockbuster, thrillers. I read everything that I can get my hands on. Really? We're gonna have this conversation, an intelligent conversation. You know, it's one thing when an author repeats the same characters over and over again. Okay, fine. Okay, it's great. It's satisfying. It's like episodic television. There's something to it.
Right.
But don't say she's better than her and hers. I don't buy into that at all. And perhaps that's why that's why I am the way I am.
Yeah. Well, you have an incredible balance of the family richness and contemporary feel, and it's a beautiful work.
Okay.
Past and the present, you know, it plays in our subconscious, and so therefore it's
always. Yeah, you're right about that.
We're talking about, now look at my copy. I have things it's written in. It's okay to write in your books. So you were talking about, there was one of the many things I underlined in this book that I loved, in which Olympio, which is Matilda's husband, who's you know, the jeweler, agrees. I love this. Says, but the first thing that leaves in success is the memory of what it felt like to be poor. We shed that insecurity like an old pair of shoes the moment there's money in the bank. We slip into fine leather and forget how badly our feet used to hurt. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just true.
But isn't it true?
Just true.
You know, money's a funny thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come into a little, you think it's going to keep coming. It never occurs to you, oh, this is going to end. It doesn't occur to you because that's the sin of money.
Mm-hmm.
So we must look at it like energy. Listen, when I go home to Italy, they don't get riled up about retirement accounts. They don't care.
Yeah.
They've got La Tavola.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
And I said this to my cousins recently. I said, in America, it's better, it's bigger, 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 bigger. And in Italy, it's better, better, better. How can I better do the thing that I do? How can I? And that's all I have not lost my Italian drive, which is I want every book to be better than the last one. Mm-hmm. It'll be different, but better. And I think that defies category.
Yeah, it does.
Right? No, that's exactly right. That's one of my, like every time you start out writing a book, you should believe it has the potential to be the best thing you ever did. You may not achieve it, but that should be what you're aiming for every single time.
But Marie, I could tell you always swing for the fences. And that's what we have to do. And I hope, and I know that's true, Katherine, too. We just have to try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do the best you
can.
And
the reader will go with you.
No, and you're not out of the park.
But if they think you're like, conning them, forget it. Forget it. Except I will say this about women readers, which I found this fascinating, is they are a little bit conned by the male authors. They are a little bit because they're men.
It's true. No, it does happen. Oh man, we could talk about this one.
Sexual attraction is a thing.
Yeah. No, I think there is something so much to this book. Has so much wisdom and so much heart and so much strength. I think I wrote you at one point. It was like, oh my gosh, I wish I had known Matilda when I was 20, so now, and Anina, is that how the granddaughter?
Anina, you got it.
So Matilda is like passing on this great wisdom to her granddaughter. I felt like, beautiful. I just felt like the echo, knowing you a little bit, the echo of the generations of your family were coming through. The wisdom of your family that you were sharing through this book. And I don't usually underline this many things in a book. So were there particular family members you had in mind for the different characters? Tell me about that.
My grandmother, Lucia, I modeled Netta Borelli, who's Domenica's mother, on her.
Okay.
I modeled Matilda on my grandmother, Viola. Domenica is a kind of a meatball of a great aunt an aunt, and my mother.
Mm. Nice.
And a Nina is dopey me.
Okay.
No, we're all
Even
dope.
though I could be a Nina's mother, I am just saying. I'm
yeah.
just saying. I love a character that has no idea.
Yeah.
About anything.
Yeah.
And yet is trying.
Right. That's
Yeah.
the key right there.
Is open.
You nailed that. Yeah.
But she likes good-looking men. She has a plan in place she thinks is going to pay off. But one of the things I love the most about the messaging in this, in terms of the characters and their wants and needs, there's never a message, but there's ideas.
Yeah.
Is that you got to have something that you do. Wife, mother, what caregiver to the pet, whatever, but you have to have a sacred mission for yourself. And if you don't have that, you got a problem. And see, this is the thing with the grandmother that I loved about Matilda. She's a bookkeeper. She was good with numbers. She was great at math. She's a good actuary. She could do all that stuff. Okay. She said, I wasn't creative. Well, I disagree with that. Yeah. I think she was incredibly creative, but nobody said it to her because the need for her was to do the books.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, and this is true, right? Domenica is an amazing nurse. I mean, the sweep of this book is so wonderful. You take us to so many different countries and times. Like oh shoot, we're running up on time.
We are running up on time.
This book, I am going to tell you. So we have to sign off. I know, but I loved this book. It genuinely is I know, even though we're halfway through the year, it's going to be in my top 5 favorite books of the year. Very probably at the moment, it's #1. I adore this book.
You never know, though.
Well, you got to leave room. You got
to have some air on Mount Olympus.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Nothing's going to thrive up there.
This is it. No, but it's such a delightful book. I have told everyone about it. Everybody needs to read it. But we have one last question for you today. We always wrap up this one.
What is
happy today? Oh, I'm sorry. You can ask that, Katherine.
Oh no, ask it.
That's the question.
That's the question. What's making you happy today?
This cup of coffee.
There you go. Sometimes that is the
I swear to you, I get a lot of happiness from a cup of coffee. Is that crazy?
No, I get pure joy. I really do.
There's something about it. Mm-hmm. And then there was just an article in the paper today that you live longer. So drink up.
Okay. Well, no wonder we get joy.
Yeah.
I think it is the simple things. I get happy.
Adriana, this could not have been more fun today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this book. And we just can't wait to talk to you again. I know, fast as 10 minutes.
I mean, really, what goes beyond 10 minutes that's worth anything? Right?
I think the conversation with you would. Yeah. Well, thank you, friends. We'll see you next time on the 10-Minute Book Talk.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye.